Now that we've got the riser assembled, let's get a bag onto it. Let's start out with these inserts that are in the frame. So this center one is for bags with a soft bottom, like a squash or pound bag. If you have a soft bottom, you want this to be in, and it prevents the bag from rubbing against the drive line. And if you're not sure, just leave it in. These front inserts are for bags that have the round feet. If yours has the long rails or a soft bottom, you can take these out if you want to. But if you're not sure, you can just leave them in. There are two different ways you can attach the front of the bag to the riser. One way is with the clamps, and the other way is with a little clip. Let's start out with attaching the clamps to the bag first. For this process, I recommend you take all of the discs out of your bag, grab the clips out of the accessory box, and then let's decide where to put them. So you can attach them to the main compartment of your bag, going directly above where the strap currently is on the riser. You can also attach the clamp to some side pockets of your bag, or you can move the strap towards the center. You can even put the strap on the side of the riser and put the clamp on the side of your bag. Just make sure when you do this that you have room to feed the strap through the clamp. Also make sure that any place you put it, that the clamp is within the range of the strap. So first, we want to get the nut off of the back of the clamp. Wherever you decide to screw this into your bag, in a pocket or anything else, you want to make sure that you have access to the back to be able to get this nut back onto the screw. Now you can use the center hole on the nut or the hole on the edge. If there's any sort of Velcro liner or anything like that, you're going to want to kind of pull that out of the way. So sometimes you're just going to be screwing through one layer of fabric, and sometimes there's a plastic sheet that's in there, in which case you still want to screw all the way through that. This is a sheet metal screw, so it'll go through all those just fine. Do not pre-drill with a hand drill or anything like that. You just want to use this screw to get through the layers. All right, once you know where you're going to put it, go ahead and line it up and start screwing it in. You can also do a pin mark to help line that up. Make sure you put plenty of pressure on the back to help it go through the fabric or the plastic sheet if it's there. But obviously don't screw through your finger. Now once the screw gets to a point where it's sticking out a little bit, you want to take that nut and line it up with one of the holes. This part can get a little tricky, but once you get that lined up, go ahead and snug it up a little bit, get your clamp lined up, and tighten it up. Now, let's go do the other side. For this process, we recommend laying it down on the table, and I like to just eyeball it into location, but if you want to do any measurements, you can measure it and mark it with a pen or a pencil exactly where it needs to go. So once you get in location, same thing as before, just start screwing it in. Once that screw starts poking through, grab the nut, get it lined up. You can use either hole on that nut. And get it nice and tight. And there you go. If the screws that come with the clamps aren't quite long enough to get through your bag, you can take those ones out and remove the screws that are holding in the webbing on the frame, because these ones are 1/8 of an inch longer. So take those ones out, and then you can use the shorter screw that you just took out of the clamp to put those back in. And then now you have a nice longer screw that should be able to get through your bag just fine. So now it's time to get the bag onto the riser. First, let's start out on the back side. Open these clamps and pull this strap up as long as it'll go without coming out of the clamps, and tighten them back down. Set the bag on. So center up the bag and make sure that the pad on the bag is roughly in line with the pad on the riser. We've been having a little bit of issue of people's clip breaking right here. So whoever designed this didn't quite make it beefy enough. If you have one that is currently looped like this, then you're fine, you don't need to change anything. But if you have one that's looped like this, then you're going to want to change it. It's a very simple change. Unfeed the strap out of the slots and then feed it straight back in to the bottom slot. Go in about 3 or 4 inches, loop it back into the top slot, and now you're going to feed it inside the clip up to basically where that rib is and just past the screw. Once you get it to there, you can pull all this tight. So now you're going to take the clip like that and hang it over the flags of the bag strap. And then tighten the screw. And so this will pierce through the webbing and then pinch your bag. And between piercing the webbing here and changing this to looping this way, it increases the strength of it significantly. If you're having a difficult time getting the clip over the bag strap because it's too tight, you can use a little butter knife or something to kind of get in there and pry it open a little bit. Or you can even take a lighter and heat it up a little bit and open that up some. Same thing on the other side. How you want to tighten this up, grab the backpack strap, pull it up tight. Now make sure that the pad of the backpack is still in line with the pad of the riser. And now we can adjust this down until this strap is straight. You don't want to pull it tight, you just want to get it to where it's straight. So once you let go of the backpack strap, this is going to be loose right now. So let's do the other side. Pull it up nice and tight. Open this, feed it through, pull it to straight, tighten it up. Now let's go up to the front, feed these straps in, and tighten those up. Now same thing on this side. When you feed these in, only pull them to straight. You're not trying to suck it down tight. You just want to go to straight. The only point of these straps is just to hold 2.5 pounds onto the bottom of your bag. It doesn't have to be held tight. So now once you got the bag attached to your riser, let's go ahead and get all your discs back in your bag. Once you get your discs all back in your bag, you can go ahead and put your backpack on. So now you can open the clamp on the back here and snug the riser up to the bottom of the bag and clamp it back down. Do that on both sides. And now your riser should be perfectly attached to your bag. Now for the second mounting option, you're going to add that clip right to the center of the main compartment of your bag. This way is not compatible with every bag. If it has a front putter pouch or a pocket or the fabric is really soft, this way might not work, but you can always try it out and see if it does. To get started with that, we're going to want to take off these front 2 straps. Now grab the clamps out of the accessory box and remove the nuts. Install those clamps to the inside holes on the faceplate. You're going to want to turn them in so they point a little bit towards the inside. And then get them nice and tight. Now get the roll of strap that's in the accessory box out, unroll it, and fold it in half. Now cross those over and slide the strap into the front hook of that clip. Now center up the bag and you can lightly tighten these up. Now we're going to install the back the same way as we did with the other version. First, let's pull these straps out as long as they can go. Make sure the screws on here are backed out. Make that same adjustment to how the strap feeds into the clip as I did before, and slide these onto the flags of the backpack strap. Pull the backpack strap tight. Now you can pull this down to just barely snug and tighten it up. Let's do it to the other side. And let's make sure we get these screws pinching on the flag so they don't want to come off. Now let's go back to the front and make sure that these are pulled snug. Now again, you don't want to over pull it, you just want it enough to where it holds the 2.5 pounds of the riser to the bag. Now, put the backpack on. And you can open the clamp right here and snug the riser up to the bottom of the bag and clamp it back down. Do it with both sides. And now your riser should be attached to your bag. Now that we got the bags on the risers, let's go out to the course and we'll show you how to use them.